I'm Bernhard Wilhelm. I'm a German fashion designer who is now in Florence. I had my education in Antwerp on the Royal Academy. I graduated in 1998, and 1999 we did our first fashion show in Paris. I decided together with Linda that we would show pictures from the last lookbook we photographed in Los Angeles in Beverly Hills. It was about the educated consumer. We are all educated consumers. Basically, we are doing our choices on the iPhone. So there is also a little section in that pictures with Steve Jobs. He's a big hero in California. We were working together with the Venice Beach basketball team. And we wanted to show kind of an equilibrium or spinning a ball on the finger. That moment was captured in the pictures. The basic clothes, which is very much based on American sportswear, was enough this time to give a certain message. And it was also a distinction from my past years where everything was very complicated, draped, difficult to stitch, and I wanted to have the complete opposite for this one. As a designer, I think you're somebody who can give very simple things a spirit because the designer touched it, but right now I don't want to touch it too much. I want to keep the things very, very simple. And I'm still working on it to make it even more simple, something you understand immediately. It's so far interesting that as a designer you work with so many countries and each country has different approaches to the consumer. With Japan, I work since over 15 years. They are maybe the most playful customers. It's the Japanese. It's really a very young, hip crowd who buys our clothes. And then when I was living in Los Angeles for years, we built out a little bit the American market, which for us is Los Angeles and New York. There we have a lot of people like from Beverly Hills. It's like an older customer between 40 and 50 who want completely different things. Then we have a lot of customers in Australia and New Zealand, and they are more on the intellectual side. That's the good thing about fashion. It connects people even if they are not connected. It connects them through a little style or message. Also, it connects man and woman. The collection has become much more unisex over the years. Now we are only doing 2 collections a year. Before we always did 4 collections, 2 men and 2 women. But this whole thing became one pot now. I think it's a very hard time to be an independent designer. It's very hard to convince a production company to produce you. And it's very hard to be in the business for a very long time. For me, it's sunglasses, it's shoes. Sunglasses we are doing with Makita. It's a Berlin-based company. And shoes is Camper. It's a Mallorcan-based company. But they are produced in Vietnam. But these things enable us to still produce fashion collections which are break even or even losing money. It's very difficult if you're an independent designer to survive. Maybe how you survive best is to work with companies who can make specialized, very professionally made products because the customer wants that at the moment. Maybe fashion turns more around professional products than about making clothes in a romantic way. It is always a choreography and it's always a big risk. You have to create something, then you put it out in this world, but you don't know how the world will react to it. It's maybe the most draining part of my job, and maybe the most satisfying is the change. You put something out, and if it's not so good, you can hopefully have another chance to put something out which is more accepted. Fashion changes very quickly, and to be honest, I like that. It kind of keeps me going. What changed for me now, I purely do my designs on the iPhone. And the next collection I'm doing started in San Francisco, and it was only about going each day to Goodwill, the American vintage store where everybody puts his second-hand clothes, picked one look, and we are reproducing now for the next collection exactly that look with a little change. So it is about pure reproduction of consumer society. It's generally done a lot with art, regenerating spaces, because it's seen as a prestige. But I think you have to do more social projects. That's a little bit maybe the thing how this space could be alive again. In my opinion, it has to use more frequent, intense social projects, do parties, do art exhibitions. Students can sell things, flea market, whatever, where people are interacting and doing things. Use the space and give the city some life, you know. Yeah, maybe the power of green. I did my elections in Ulm with my parents, and the Green Party gained 10% more. So I think everybody feels that the air quality is the most important. Architects can maybe build new buildings, they can put certain things together, but in the end, I think we have to vote, and hopefully the politicians can change something. That feeling at the moment is that all the politicians are more kind of a jerk, or the right wing is rising. And this is the big problem for the whole economy and for the society, that things get radical. For that we need education. We have to build schools, universities, and make it hopefully a better world.